Presses, it's Mallett and Michelle. I'm Michelle, the opinion and gossip page everyone reads first. And here's Steve, between the classifieds and the op-ed. Together, we're a front page story you didn't know you needed or even wanted.
Wow, that's a great segue to our guest today, John Garrett, who's the CEO and founder of the Community Impact newspaper.
Woo!
Yeah, I think everybody loves that newspaper. Comes in your mailbox, once a month?
For free.
For free.
You get it for free. When do you ever get anything for free anymore?
True. And there's some good coupons in the back, too.
Some coupons?
Yeah, coupons.
I got some coupons. Hey, we need to thank our sponsors, Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room,
where the vibe is dripping and the theme is relax and have fun.
Jovi Belterra.
Growing older and living bolder, right here in Dripping Springs.
Growing older and living bolder? Eek! South Star Bank.
Helping you live your financial dreams one transaction at a time.
And the greatest real estate team in Dripping Springs, Mallett Integrity Team.
Skip the noise. Choose the agent who's chasing your best interests, not algorithms.
And who has a crazy cuckoo operations manager.
Yes, we do. But yeah, there's so much crap going on about real estate right now on social media, and for the most part, we've tried to stay above that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we try. So, Steve, have you been feeling a little off the last couple of days?
I'm always a little off, but yeah, maybe a little more than normal.
Have you just been feeling a little something going on? Have you ever heard of the Schumann Resonance? Have you ever heard of that?
I have not ever heard of that.
So it's an electromagnetic frequency of the Earth. In 1952, it was discovered by a German physicist, Winfried Otto Schumann, and he was the first to predict the existence of these resonances in the Earth's atmosphere. It's often called the planet's heartbeat. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have not ever heard of that before.
Frequency is linked to brain waves, relaxation, intuition, and even a deep state of meditation, and it can affect your mood overall. And when it fluctuates, it can influence your sleep patterns, your moods, your emotions, energy levels, and spiritual experiences. Now,
the Earth is a giant mood ring, is what I'm hearing.
Basically, when the resonance is higher, like it is now, or like it has been, it causes, or people believe it has caused, increased intuition, vivid dreams, feeling ungrounded or restless, physical symptoms like headaches or fatigue, kind of like what I was feeling last week, sudden burst of energy like Michelle on coffee, or emotional shifts. Some believe that it indicates a shift in human consciousness. So you can't hear it, but you can feel the vibrations of the Earth, okay? So how do we align it? How do you think you align it? You need to spend time in nature. You need to take your shoes off. You need to get
heard of this.
Grounding.
I have tried this, and it doesn't work for me.
Well, 7.83 is the baseline for this Schumann resonance, and spikes have been hitting as high as 30 hertz or 40 hertz or even higher. But again, like they say, take your shoes off in grass, reduce exposure to artificial electromagnetic frequencies like what we are doing right now,
yeah,
EMFs.
We're surrounded by equipment. We got electronic watches on and cell phones and headphones. Yeah, we're reducing that.
You can hug a tree. Okay. Touching your forehead to the ground. I don't know why that works.
Chiggers.
It sounds... Chiggers. Proponents of the spiritual significance of the Schumann frequency claim that it serves as a bridge between human consciousness and the broader consciousness of the Earth and the cosmos. I don't have my tinfoil hat right now. But,
wow, we went down a very deep rabbit hole here.
People have been saying that there's something to this, because the spike, I'm going to share this tab. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch this. So the spike, the white is what they're talking about.
Okay.
Don't ask me what all of this other mumbo jumbo is. The solar X-ray flux, the solar
science,
photon flux.
Michelle. It's science.
It's science. So some say, just to kind of really, really dumb it down, the green color is the collective consciousness, humanity, stable energy. The red is blocked or dark energy.
Okay.
The yellow is healing and transformation within the collective. The white is divine light or Christ consciousness. And the blue is the calm, right? So that's kind of right there. But we've been seeing, this is what is going on right now. As of today, this is what it looks like right now. So when they're saying that they're seeing a lot of white in this Schumann resonance, people are experiencing that it's almost like a spiritual awakening is what they're feeling. But I think it sounds like Mother Nature has been getting louder and louder, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to listen to her a little bit.
Maybe we do. You know what has kind of upset me emotionally lately? Do you remember AOL.com?
Oh yeah, I do remember AOL.
Here's a sound from the past for some of you that have been online for most of your lives. So, remember this? That sound?
Oh my gosh. That is the opposite of whatever story I just gave you.
Yes, I know. Yeah. So AOL.com, which at one time was the largest internet company in the entire world, has shut down and is no longer in existence. It shut down last month. Its dial-up internet service. September 30th is the last time you'll be able to log in and onto dial-up. There are currently 163,000 people still using AOL internet dial-up. And as of September, I don't know, but 1% of households are still using it. And the AOL was made famous by the movie You've Got Mail. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And it started with that
That was Tom Hanks.
Yes.
And Meg
This
Ryan.
noise right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes you right back to whatever that was.
So
1997.
I hated it because you couldn't be on the phone, even though if you had, because I was fancy and I had call waiting, you couldn't be on the phone while that was going on.
It was like a brave new world. I remember, wow, you could check the news like right now, and people could send me an electronic message like it came through my mail, but it's instantaneous. It's amazing.
When I first worked for Motorola, they had interoffice mail, like email or text messaging, and it was the craziest. Well, when I first got there, of course, all the engineers were on beepers, and they introduced Motorola. They introduced this kind of like typewriter where you could send messages on the beeper, and I had a lot of fun with the engineers with that. And then they went to the interoffice mail, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So
technology's come a long way. So this AOL dial-up going away. I think it's still going to be.
So is AOL.com? Is that still, and people that still have the AOL.com?
I think you can still go
Yahoo,
to AOL.com,
or not Yahoo,
but I don't think there'll really be anything there. It's not really a very popular site. But this follows the death of Skype this past May, which was the very first FaceTime
Skype
type.
is gone?
Skype is gone as of May this year.
No.
You remember that? You could get on Skype. This 20 years ago, you could get on Skype and talk with somebody 15,000 miles away, just like they were sitting right next to you.
That was our first FaceTime, because when Todd used to travel all the time, we would Skype all the time, and the kids wanted to see Daddy, and so we would Skype.
Yeah, well, the technology on Skype didn't really keep up, and FaceTime and Zoom and all these other things took it over. But following up on that sort of technology, do you ever get spam texts, spam calls on your cell phone?
Like it's been awful.
It's been as
awful.
bad as it's ever been, right? You know how sometimes when somebody texts you and says, "Hi, I work with health insurance providers. Can I send you a free quote?" And when you go to hit delete, your iPhone will give you the option to delete and report junk. Do you know what that does?
What? It tells them that you're a real thing.
It does nothing.
Oh, really?
It makes you feel better that you've done something.
So what about the registry, the do not call?
No, it doesn't do that. The only thing that happens when you do that is that Apple will report that was reported as junk to the carrier that you have, and then the carrier really doesn't do. So if you're on AT&T, the carrier does nothing with that. It doesn't block the number. It doesn't. They can continue unless you physically block the number on your phone. They can continue to send you these.
So what
junk
about when you hit
messages.
unsubscribe? You know, that little button.
That's an email. So sometimes that works. If they're not a legitimate company, they're probably not going to pay any attention to that. And what I've noticed, even legitimate companies, you unsubscribe, and then 6 months later, out of the blue, you just start getting emails from them again. They just continue to use you. But it's getting really out of hand. I'm thinking at this point, probably 7 out of the 10 phone calls I get are spam. And probably 50% of the texts I get are spam.
Oh, well.
It's getting really out of control. I don't know why. So right now in our world, you can have a computer drive a car without a person in it, but AT&T can't figure out how to stop somebody in whatever Bangladesh from calling me and offering to get me to be number 1 in my Google search.
Well,
if I send them $1,000.
Go to donotcall.gov.
I don't think that works. I don't think anybody pays attention to that. I think occasionally somebody will get called by somebody that's on the do not call registry will get called by somebody, and they'll say I'm on the do not call, and that person will continue. That company will continue to call them, and then they threaten them, but nothing ever happens with that. So I think there's gonna be some legislation that comes to clamp down on this, because it's getting to where the technology that we have is almost becoming unusable because of the infiltration of spam and junk texts and things that are just taking us away. It's a productivity tool. But if you spend half your time on your day getting calls from people that are trying to sell you things, that's not very productive.
No, and also as a real estate agent, you want to answer the calls that you don't necessarily, because it could be somebody that wants to call you up.
And I do, but like I said, very often it's, hey, you know what? I noticed your website is not number 1 in the Google search. I can help you become the number 1 Google, blah, 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 blah.
Google booble.
It's only $500 a month. Oh, yeah, okay. Or, hey, we can put your name in the best agents in the country listing. Oh, yeah, sign me up. It's only $69. Like, okay, thank you. I used to be kind of polite, because I think it's always nice to be polite.
Not since I've worked for you.
No, I've kind of given up on it. It's like as soon as they start that spiel, I just hang up on them. I'm sorry. I tried, but it's hard.
I've talked about this before, but I like when you've told them before that you've had like a week to live.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's my favorite.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sign up for any new services. I've been diagnosed with cancer, and I'm going to be dead by next week.
I saw one where they gave their toddler the phone for a spam, and they kept saying, do you have a bank account? Yeah. And then they kept asking, and the baby just kept going, yeah. And it was pretty funny. It's like the new spam deterrent is just give your phone to a toddler.
I've heard people do whistles. They just blow a whistle.
Tay used to love to mess with them.
They just move on. There's billions of phone numbers. They just move on to the next one.
Well, speaking of grown adult babies, Mallett, I have a trend that is a little disturbing. Okay.
Another trend.
Another disturbing trend. Adult-sized pacifiers.
It
is becoming a trend among young people in Asia, and guess what? It is coming to the United States near you.
No, please say it's
They are using them as a way to cope with stress, ADHD, anxiety, insomnia, and as a tool to stop smoking. Psychologists say this behavior is part of a regression phenomenon that they are seeing, whose individuals seek comfort in objects associated with childhood. Using a pacifier can provide a sense of safety, familiarity, and an emotional sense of relief during high-stress situations. So stupid. Health experts warn that this habit can cause dental misalignment. I don't see where it says low-key bullying, because I'm a proponent of bullying. Bring that back. Jaw strain, damage to the mouth, soft tissue, risk of choking. I see that as a win-win. And breathing issues, especially during sleep. They also
can change the shape of your teeth, right?
True. But they'll say there's a healthier way of stress relief. I think
it's called being an adult.
I think it's called being an adult. I think it's infantile. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. And why don't they just drink or run like the rest of us?
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure now when I go home later and I get on Instagram, I will see some 21-year-old kid sucking on a damn pacifier. What the hell is wrong with the world?
These are actually adult.
$21 for your purple adult silicone flower pacifier.
Yeah, they are ranging.
They have one like a dinosaur.
They are ranging in price from $1.40 all the way up to $70 if you would like a bougie pacifier. I'm telling you, if I see someone walking,
if you have $70 to buy a pacifier, I think you can go get an hour of counseling for that. That's probably better suited for you.
I am just going to say I'm really glad that my camera stopped sharing because I have somehow logged on to
oh my God.
I have logged on to a website of adult.
That woman is wearing a diaper.
These are onesies and clothing.
For adults.
For adult. I didn't realize. I swear to goodness, I did not.
Adult ribbed bamboo onesie. Oh my God. Oh
I am so glad that my camera stopped on our website because, we'd be canceled. We'd be canceled. You know what,
humanity.
Mallett, you take it away. I don't know what your next story is, but I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna get a little newsy here, a little more serious. So John Garrett, who's the CEO and founder of Community Impact, is going to come on, and in preparation for that, I did a little research about what I'm going to call the death of the newspaper. And you remember paper routes?
Yes.
So anybody younger than about 25 doesn't know this, but 30, 40 years ago, when you got a paper, a guy, more than likely it was a paper boy, but paper boy, paper girl, would ride by your house on their bicycle and throw the paper
in the bushes.
In the bushes in front of your house, and you'd have to come out in the morning in your house.
Oh, my dad would sit out there and wait. He would wait because our paper boy would throw it in the bushes and it would get wet or something, and my dad would go and he'd try to catch it.
But that's the way you used to get the news. You would either get your newspaper on your front porch, or you would watch the news at 9 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night, and it would be 15 minutes of news and 15 minutes of commercials.
But you'd get two newspapers too.
Yeah.
We did when we were kids. We got the morning and the evening.
Well, in the 1990s, AOL came along. We just talked about that, and that started the slow decline of the newspaper because people could go online now, and then Craigslist came along, and because one of the main things that newspapers used to make money on is classifieds.
Yeah.
So if you were selling a car, the way we used to do it 30 years ago was you'd get a classified ad, or 40 years ago, you'd get a classified ad, 1972 Firebird red with a black interior for whatever, $1,500.
And then came the Craigslist killer.
Craigslist came along
Craigslist
and
killer
killed all that, and then free online news, and then digital ad revenue, started to become a thing where instead of somebody advertising in a newspaper, they said, "Oh, we'll give our money to Google or Facebook or whatever the thing of the day was." So. And then, 2016, the Austin Statesman went away. It used to be a huge part of
it. Didn't go away, though,
well,
did it?
It's an online platform. I don't think they deliver real papers anymore. But they used to, down on Congress in Riverside, they had a huge facility. The papers used to be printed there. Paperboy would come throw them in the bushes in front of your house before that. And then, so all these local newspapers started going away, and they got... What that did was caused what they're calling news deserts, where no one was covering local news, which is, John's going to come in and talk about the community impact. But what ends up happening with that is, because people aren't getting local news, they don't vote as much. They don't know about political corruption. They don't know about events going on in their neighborhood. So, or, construction going on. It's like, okay, what's the latest update on
the text dot?
Yeah, on the 290 construction.
Of the Dairy Queen. What's the latest update on the Dairy Queen?
But, you don't know. Okay, is this construction going to be 2 more years or going to be 10 more years? I don't know. Well, if there's no local newspapers, then people don't know that. So it's actually allowed for some newspapers to come back because of this civic engagement. So, and the other newspapers like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, that they've all gone to digital subscriptions where it's all online and you pay every month to get them. But these local newspapers are starting, the Community Impact is a great example of that.
I think it's the 20th year of the Community Impact this
I think
year
that's
as well.
Right too. So,
I used to really like look forward to getting the newspaper on Sundays. It was always the biggest,
Yeah.
fattest one.
Well, I remember it was full of coupons. And
Lots of
funnies
coupons,
yeah.
and you'd give the kids the funnies or the comics, right? And they would do their little
I remember
family
sitting
circus.
around in the living room when I was a kid, and the paper would come in. My dad would read the news part. I'd read the funnies. My mom would read the classifieds, or whatever. We just
Your grandmother would read the obituaries just to
that's
see.
right,
That's
yeah.
what my grandmother always did. That's
Bill
what they
Smith
read first.
Died. He was 92. So one of the things that these local newspapers are doing to stay relative and be important in local communities, they have a deep local loyalty. So they're not trying to compete with the New York Times. They own their own local beat. They cover school boards, council meetings, high school sports, and community events that nobody else is doing. They have adapted to digital, so most of them have real
Dual.
papers, but they have paywalls, they have email newsletters, they do podcasts, social media, things like that, and they have strong ownership and a mission to improve the community. So they are actually part of the real community. So the result that's been, while a lot of newspapers have vanished, the ones that are thriving are leaner, digitally savvy, and deeply woven into the fabric of their communities. So
There's a couple of print things that I get that I will definitely either read or I will flip through, and it is the Outlook. I will do
read
that.
the Outlook.
Community Impact, always for
I
sure.
always read that cover to
Community. I don't read cover to cover. I read I don't know. I kind of pick and choose.
Yeah,
but
there are sometimes. There's
and
an
then
article. I don't care about that.
the City Lifestyle magazine.
I like
I
the
really
City
like that one.
Lifestyle,
It's
yeah.
really fancy and
Yeah.
glossy. But
there is still a reason to have print media out there, and local coverage is hard to come by. So we're going to get John in here in a couple of minutes. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
well, I was going to say, did you ever fall? Do you have a Nook or a Kindle?
No, I read on my iPad.
I
I still prefer a book.
I prefer a book.
That's
I really do.
Probably our age.
I
but-
like the feel of a book. I like to turn the pages.
Yeah,
I like
you
that.
know what? If I could still get a paper newspaper, I would. I like reading my newspaper on digitally because there are some, you can click on a picture and expand it. If there's a word, like sometimes I'll read an op-ed and I'm like, I don't know what that word means. And I can
Do you
look
read
it
a
up.
book sometimes, or like
Yes,
you look
I
at
do.
a picture and you're like trying to
trying to expand it like you do on your phone. But I mean, it's great that companies like Community Impact are still out there improving our community, keeping people informed, and doing it in a way that's not divisive or really lopsided like some of the other newspaper type products are out there. So.
I feel honored that he's come all the way down here to come visit with us.
From South Dallas,
yeah,
Pflugerville.
he probably
rah-rah.
it's probably going to take him 2 hours to get
Yeah,
here,
it's
so we've
probably
had
true.
to stamp his passport
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever. But
Well, we're
yeah.
going to take a little break and get John Garrett in here, the CEO and founder of Community Impact Newspaper. Out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We always appreciate you. We have a YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube if you want. Michelle's wearing her